I really truly believe you can do everything. Sometimes it's not always at the speed you want. Don't think, oh, because I'm having children, I can't launch this. I can't do this. You can just start small, you can build slowly, but just make a start.
I don't see it as like a massive chore. I don't resent having to do it. If you truly love it and you feel passionate about it, you want to make that juggle work. And I think keeping the vision that I want, which is to be able to create a life for me and my kids that works around us as a family.
You're going to absolutely love this episode this week, where I get to interview the incredible Katie Hillcoat. And Katie has been in the performing arts world for a very long time and has the privilege of being part of the Jigsaw Arts franchise operation and runs 4 territories. Now, Katie's interview this week is going to be a real eye-opener for any of our mummies out there listening, and she shares all of her experience of how to balance business as well as having 3 very young children, 3 children under 5, I may add. And she's going to share the ups and the downs and her tips and her tricks of how to be an incredible mum, but also build an incredible business. Enjoy.
Right, this is so exciting because I have the wonderful Katie Hillcoat sitting in front of me. And what's so exciting with this, as you've heard from the bio and the intro to the podcast today, is Katie and I have been working together for the last 8 months, 9 months it's been.
I think so, yeah.
And as I always say, when I meet my clients in person, it feels like we're just long lost friends. And we've seen each other so many times because obviously we've been coaching together for the last 8-9 months, seeing each other on Zoom on a week-to-week basis, seeing each other on socials and all that sort of thing, connecting a lot on voice notes. So it's always so special to me when I can sit in front of each other, we can get to hug each other and just see each other in person. So welcome to the podcast today, Katie.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
So Katie's background, and I don't want to take too much away from what she's going to share with you today, but Katie's background is all in performing arts, which is very much a key part and why she got into the business that she's going to tell you all about today. So can we just get started with your background, because it's pretty impressive. I'm going to have to ask for a song or something.
No, please don't.
That was not planned when we started talking. Tell us about your before business. Just, it's always really nice to know your story, because a lot of what we do is all, especially in the children's activity world. Like obviously for me, I was a gymnast, then turned it into a gymnastic business. You go from passion into business. For you as an industry, performing arts, you can actually turn it into a proper business, whereas, you know, in terms of performing and being paid, whereas gymnastics is slightly different. So talk to me about the early days of Katie's passion for performing arts and where it all began, basically.
Yeah, so I've always been obsessed with all things like musical theatre, performing, and grew up in Cumbria in the Lake District. All my memories are all, you know, sort of watching The Sound of Music, acting it out, going to school, asking everyone to join in and be in my production. So I think I always saw myself as like a director, performer. I just was obsessed with that. So I was always in a play, a musical, a pantomime, doing festivals, competitions, growing up. So it was a natural progression. Then when I finished school, I raced to drama school, moved to Liverpool, trained at Paul McCartney's Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts in acting, which was sort of my main thing, and then musical theatre as well at Liverpool Theatre School. And then I graduated from there, and I was really lucky. Straight away, I got into a contract in Germany. So I lived in Germany for a year, performing in 2 plays and a musical.
Yeah.
Had a great time, but knew that I wanted to come to London. That's where it was, and you know, you had to be in the industry. So got settled in London, started, you know, working, auditioning, teaching. I think I'd done a bit of teaching before, so I loved working with children. And I knew that was something that came quite naturally to me as well. So alongside kind of doing my auditions, I found Jigsaw Performing Arts, and fell in love with that, sort of teaching, and then became like a manager and progressed that way, and then the rest was history. So and during that time I did do other auditions, little bits of kind of filming work and performances, and an adult pantomime, which was lots of fun. But then I very quickly sort of could work out that for me, I wanted to become more sort of settled. I sort of started to see that future of, you know, I want to be able to buy a house one day, have a husband, and have
performing arts
children.
always give you that.
And and it was that thing of like I could work so hard, go to so many auditions, but didn't always get, you know, the output that I felt like, you know, because there's so much luck involved and just all the stars aligning. And it just felt with Jigsaw, I could put in all that energy, work into it, and it'd pay off. And I'd, become a manager of a school. And I just found that so much more rewarding. So
fantastic. And this is what I love. I mean, I love when we do these episodes, because I'm going to now unpick all of that journey and of getting into the performing arts school, because that is, it said, we're talking the performing arts world. It's always one of those, just like, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing, whether it's acting. I found the same as a gymnast of, it wasn't quite the same with auditioning, but still it is such a hard industry.
Yeah, brutal.
So obviously you had the talent, you had the passion, which is obviously where it starts. Did you find growing up in Lake District as opposed to people that had grown up in London with different trainings, was that a hindrance to you at any point, or did you find you just excelled in your own right?
I think, I suppose it's just that coming from a really small town in a small sort of village, and with parents that weren't in the performing arts industry whatsoever, so they really encouraged me, and I took advantage of every opportunity that came my way, but that was obviously extremely limited. So there were no opportunities to go and audition for shows or put myself out there. So I suppose I became quite confident in that surrounding. I could go for auditions and get big roles and great opportunities, but it wasn't until then I sort of moved to Liverpool and I was like, wow, there are hundreds of people like me. And then coming to London and going, wow, there are thousands. So and I can see it now. Obviously I've got a lot of knowledge on my side now, that if my children wanted to go in the industry, I'd know how to really help them get there.
Was your mum a dancer, or dad was in acting or singing?
Not at all.
None at all. So completely new industry as a family.
Yeah, my dad's a mechanic. And my mum couldn't think of anything worse than getting up on stage and performing.
Fair enough.
She loves going to the theatre. I feel like she's always been really into music, encouraged me to play instruments and stick with it and do my exams. And she'd take me to every festival, every competition. So she really encouraged me with that. She was amazing. But no, she can't sing, can't dance, can't act. Well, maybe she can. She's probably never tried.
Yeah.
So wouldn't have the confidence.
When you went to drama school, obviously going from the Lake District to the bright lights of Liverpool.
Yeah.
Were you 18? 16?
Yeah, well, I turned 18 in the August. I started in the September, so I just turned 18.
You just turned 18?
Yeah.
So did you what was the audition process back then so what year was that?
Oh, that would have been, remember 1990. I don't want to say 1996. That'd be right. I was 18. I was born in 1988.
Do you know when I think of 96?
Trying to work it out now.
So mad. Do you know when you think of 96?
No, I wasn't 19. No, 2006.
2006.
Yeah, because I went to LIPA.
Because you're younger than me.
Yeah, I went to LIPA 2006, 2007, then started.
I'll say because you're younger than me, and you would have been in 96. I would have been 10 or 11.
Yeah,
and you're younger than me.
2006.
But you know what's so funny is, when you think, and I think this when I have people come to me to work for us and I see on their date of birth, I'm like, 2006.
I know, I think this all the time now.
2000, I'm like, Jesus, especially because I started my gyms in 2008.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you were born when I started this business.
Yeah.
How insane is that?
Now I'm like, I could be your mum.
Yeah. It's insane.
So,
So you were young, you were 18.
Just turned 18, yeah. So I auditioned when I was doing I was in sixth form. So in that final year of sixth form, did all my auditions. And again, even researching that, I didn't really have anyone to be like, here are the recommended schools.
You just rocked up.
I just kind of did my own research.
I
remember, auditioning I remember auditioning for acting and always, RADA, Lambda, all the sort of big schools, and getting quite far down, into the audition process, but really feeling like, oh no, I think it's musical theatre, because when I'm in this room full of actors, I'm the good singer and I'm the good singer. So that was kind of my thing. I thought, no, maybe I'm more musical theatre, character acting. And so it took me a while to kind of work that out. But I did go down the acting route at LIPA, but we did do sort of singing and dance alongside. And that's when I knew, I don't want to just be acting all day. I want to be doing all of this. And I think I'm more musical theatre than sort of straight acting.
Amazing.
Acting.
Well, you got more strings to your bow.
Yeah.
So you did that for 3 years? Is it? Was that 3 years?
Yeah, 1 year at LIPA, and then I did my 3-year course at Liverpool Theatre School, and that's when I did musical theatre.
Yeah. So then coming off the back of that, and did you meet the most amazing friends that you're still friends with from those days?
Yes. So my best friend who's godmother to my children.
Lovely, yeah.
She just had a baby. Yeah. So still got some really, really close friends from those days.
Oh, because it's such a close bond.
Yeah, and you're living together, and also with drama school, you're there from 9 in the morning right through to the evening. between shows and rehearsals. So you're really living in each other's pockets.
Because when you hear, obviously we work at Gold Medal, as you know, with so many people in the performing arts world, you can hear most of it's positive, to be honest.
Yeah.
But sometimes, because you're in so close proximity, if you have a bad crowd, and you could say the same for everything, whatever in the industry, but because of something with performing arts, because you're living together, working together, you're long hours, you're having to be on stage together. There's so much in close proximity. If you're not getting on with certain people, the pressure of certain drama schools can be, if it's the wrong character, wrong, a bit like sending it to any school. If you're the wrong, obviously we're in the process of grammar school for Amelie. We went for the 11 plus to do the 11 plus. Yeah. But she's not a grammar child. She's hardworking. She's smart, but she's also very sporty and creative. Yeah. And we wanted her to do the test to challenge. She unfortunately didn't get in, but it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. I don't want her at the bottom of a class or struggling. No. But it wasn't the right school for her. And it's the same, you could go to all these colleges, even just in the same industry, and you might just pick the wrong one and have a bad experience,
Yeah, absolutely.
So coming out of drama school, what happened next? I want to hear about some of the things that you were involved in.
So when I was in drama school, that final year, I felt like that real pressure of, right, come on, you need to get an agent, you need to leave with an agent. And I really had this pressure of, I need the next thing. Like, I need to know what I'm walking into.
Would you say it was easier to get an agent then than it is now? Like, because it's so competitive now, even more so.
Yeah, I imagine, possibly. I imagine so. It's hard to know because I only ever did it back then. Yeah. But I remember being obsessed with the idea, like really researching all the agents, getting the train down to London, meeting certain people, doing our showcase in London as well, and then writing to all these sort of casting directors and agents, inviting them. But yeah, I imagine now it would be incredibly difficult. Yeah.
Spotlight. Is there still Spotlight in the stage? Is the stage still running?
I don't know about the stage. I used to get the stage newspaper.
I've got the stage. Yeah.
And Spotlight. Really, actually, in our final year of drama school, we did a photo shoot, all of us. Yeah. And we were all naked, but had like a prop. Everyone had like a prop to sort of like cover them up, obviously, a little bit in this photo shoot. And mine was that Spotlight book. Yeah. Because I was just obsessed. Everyone was like, because I was like,
imagine that'd be good socials these days.
It was good. Yeah, I don't know how to take a photo, but we were all. Yeah, I was head girl, and I was just obsessed with Spotlight during that final year. I need to write to everybody. I need to invite everyone. I need to meet everyone, and just get as many agents to our showcase. So yeah, but then I auditioned. So I auditioned for a company called White Horse. Okay. In Germany. And that was my first job out of drama school.
Was that a tour around Germany, or was it like stage-based?
Yes, it was touring. So I remember it was around the Easter time, graduating in the summer, and then I got that job. I remember just thinking, yes, at least I've got something to go into. I don't have to leave here, go back home and sort of work it all out. Yeah. That sort of security. And that's actually where I met Philippa, who's also part of the Gold Mentorship.
Oh, that's how you met
So
Philippa.
we toured together. Wonderful. Yeah, we lived together, shared rooms together for the whole year.
Yeah. I just love this.
So she was my fellow castmate. And we really had each other's back.
Wonderful. Yeah. So you did that for a year, and then what was the next gig after that?
So after that, that's when I came to London. One of my best friends from Lipper was moving in London, was like, come and live with me in Balham. So I did.
Good old Balham.
Balham. We were called the Balham Babes. Yeah. And
we call it Blam.
I do really. Blam. And that's when I sort of started auditioning for various bits and bobs. Alongside, that's when I was obviously teaching as well and working in all sorts of places. And then I was involved in an adult pantomime, Snow White and the Seven Boots.
Do you know what? Obviously, Shelley, who we've got on the podcast in a couple of weeks, is she talks about adult pantos all the time. I've never been to an adult panto. I need to go to one because I've heard there's so much fun.
It is fun, yeah. It was a lot of fun being in it. Yeah. Yeah, had a great time. And then did bits of filming. It's in an Andrex advert with Dorno Porter.
Amazing, yeah.
And then, but I was going on all these auditions, and then I got offered to go back to Germany as well and do another tour. Okay. And it was within the same company. Yeah, within the same company, and actually a role that I really wanted to do because I sort of said to myself, if I'm going to do this again, I want to do Shakespeare this time. And I sort of waited out for it. And I was like, do I go back? But I knew that if I went back to Germany, I was just putting off this whole cycle again of having to come to London, get known again, be like a recognised face on the circuit. I sort of started auditioning for cruise ships and. To sing. But yeah, I think I just sort of worked out quite quickly that probably wasn't the right lifestyle for me. Okay. I think so you've got to have a lot of...
And what were you at this point? 24, 23?
Yeah, like early 20s. Yeah, it would have been early 20s. Yeah. Yeah, I just found, I remember sort of thinking I can't really sustain this anymore. It's not really making me that happy either. And actually, I was going to all these auditions, but sometimes thinking, oh, I don't want to go on a cruise ship for 18 months. I don't want to, but I felt like I had to just keep showing up all the time.
Yeah.
And then it was very difficult, I think, to even get seen for some of the sort of West End shows, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be seen.
Did you ever manage the West End?
No, I didn't ever do West End.
It's a very hard.
I think getting in the room is extremely hard.
Yeah. And it's interesting what you say about the cruise ships, because I think you were right, and you were so, to have that gut feeling at that young age, because you were so close, you were so new in the industry.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so easy to go on cruise ship after cruise ship, because you're thinking, no other contracts. I'm not getting in the West End.
Yeah.
I'm not getting that contract. Let's go on another cruise ship. And obviously it's a great life, so it's a great experience. Yeah. But each time you're coming back, starting again on another. I had a friend who did 5 cruise ships. She loved it, a time of her life, but she was like, I came back and I was like, I've got nothing.
Yeah, and you can save a lot of money, but then
build everything back up again.
Yeah.
So you were very wise at a young age on that, to know, because I think in the performing world, I know a lot of friends that have gone through this, and obviously through my gymnastic gyms, had a lot of coaches that are performing arts as well.
Yeah.
In and out of auditions, it's so hard to really define. You want to take where the job is there and the money's there.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to be able to turn that down.
Yeah,
and say I'm waiting for the next, because you never know when it's going to come, do you?
Yeah, and I just knew I loved perform. Like I do still. I love performing.
Yeah,
but you've got to love that lifestyle, haven't you, as well, of doing a contract. And actually, it was hard to even enjoy doing the job, because then you're still thinking, oh, but what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I can't even enjoy that moment. So it was very quickly worked out that yes, I'm obsessed with performing. I love musical theatre. Absolutely thoroughly obsessed with it, but the lifestyle is not quite suited to my personality. Yes. I need to know what's next. I need to be in control and steering my own future, not just waiting.
I said that's really powerful to know that at a young age. Absolutely, for sure. And I remember one of my friends that I went to school with. She was a lead in Cats.
Oh.
And she said it just didn't work out when she had a baby. Like, can you imagine?
No, I
can't. As mums of 3, getting on a stage when you're sleep deprived, you've just given birth probably 8 months ago, and you're back on stage. That lifestyle does not go with family.
No, it doesn't, because you've got to be in the theatre, like when pickup is for school, and then the whole evening you'd be,
and then all the socialising after, you just want to get home. I can imagine that shift is massive. So so well done for seeing that, ahead of the game, and seeing, very much what works for you.
Yeah.
So talking about, obviously, from background of performing arts to then where you are now with your business with Jigsaw. So before you started your business with Jigsaw Performing Arts, did you have any business experience, or was it you were thrown in the deep end, off we go?
Yeah, thrown in the deep end, had absolutely no business experience. Literally, all I'd done is gone to drama school and performed, and started sort of assisting and teaching with kids. But absolutely no experience.
Perfect. So how long were you assisting before you were like, I would love to buy this as a franchise?
To buy it. I think I worked for Jigsaw for probably about 2 years. I'm sure I started with them in 2012 and I opened my first school in 2015.
Okay.
So I was teaching for quite some time, and then became one of the school managers as well. And I loved that feeling of, like, this felt like my sort of place. I met the like-minded people. Felt like an amazing community. Absolutely loved it. But I didn't ever actually dream of opening my own school. I said that when Nikki first asked me and had that conversation, like, why don't you do this? I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that.
I'm fine, thanks. So how many hours were you full-time at that point, or were you part-time? Because I know it's obviously, as we know, it's a weekend-based school.
Yes.
But there's lots of roles that can happen in the week. But was it a full-time position, or were you working elsewhere?
No, so I was working at the weekends teaching for Jigsaw. Then during the week, I'd work at like after-school clubs. I taught Lambda as well, putting students through their acting exams. Yeah. So that was a big thing for me. And then I did some work in head office as well during the week. But I was here, there, and everywhere.
You were here, there, and everywhere.
Different, like freelance. Yeah, every day, different hat.
But that was fab for the experience that you've got now and the business that you have built. Yeah. Because you've seen from different angles. Like I said, you've been in examinations. Yeah. You've been a performer. You've seen the classes, how it works during the weekend. You've been in head office. All of those skills are so powerful and why you've had the success that you've had with your business. So what was the biggest? Obviously, you went from don't want to do it, don't want to run it, not interested. Thanks, Nikki.
Still want to perform.
Yeah, I still want to perform, but I'm doing this. What was for you the light bulb moment?
That light bulb moment. I always remember going to sort of sitting down with Nikki and going to like the open day, I think that she held in Covent Garden. And I think I worked at head office at the time. She was like, just book a slot, come in and let's have the chat. And I remember sitting there with her and she sort of said to me, look, you could do this. I remember walking in thinking, I'm absolutely not buying a school.
Okay.
This is not what I'm going to be doing.
Did you have the financials at the time did you know how much it was to buy a school?
Didn't know anything about it because I was, not to be rude, I wasn't interested.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd do it. So I went into that thinking, okay, we'll have the chat about it. Let's see what it's all about. But I'm obviously not going to do it because I'm still, at that point, I was still auditioning. I'm still performing. I still want to be on the West End at that stage. And having that chat. And she sort of said to me, you know, this is what you could achieve, you know, that you could look like this. And I can just see you, Katie, you know, buying that house, meeting the right person, having a family. And
so she proper built the vision.
Yeah, built this massive, and I remember sort of saying to her, but I don't know if I can do this. What if I fail at this? I don't know if I'll be any good at it. I don't know that I can. And having that fear of like, what if I can't? But I knew that she believed in me. She was like, well, I think you can. Let's do it.
And that's amazing. She was like your first mentor.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
When you look back, that's amazing.
I genuinely didn't think I could do it. It was all kind of, oh, well, what if I can't? What if I can't? Whereas with performing, even though the likelihood of getting into the West End is so slim, I did truly believe.
Is it like 0.1% or something? Is it even 1%?
But I mean, I grew up believing I could do anything like that. I believed that I could make it happen, that there was no other option, so I had to make it happen. I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
So then I started thinking, why am I really overthinking this? Like the likelihood of, playing your dream role in the West End, that's crazy. But you're kind of, chickening out with something that somebody's saying, look, I believe in you, you can do this. And then I think I had that conversation sort of with my parents and thought, right, okay, let's get a deposit.
And did your parents help you to invest in the school?
Yes, they did. Yeah, so
fantastic.
they did. They gave me that deposit, that initial deposit
to get started.
To get started. Yeah. So
fantastic,
because
that early years support is so, like, I don't believe in luck. I believe you make your own luck. But at certain points, everybody's got different. You have to have a little bit of luck to get started. Like I had some money that was left to me in inheritance.
Yeah.
I opened my first gym. And I thought that got me started. Yeah. Or just the ability to be able to stay at home while you build the business in the early days. So it's not as stressful and you can put more money back in the business. It's all of that it is luck, but you've created your luck by going. You didn't have to go to the meeting. You could have said no. You took a chance. You've asked your parents. You've been resourceful.
Yeah. But I did always have that support. I think whatever I wanted to do, my parents were behind me all the way.
Amazing.
And they just make it happen.
Yeah. Perfect. So obviously that was back in 2015.
Yes.
So 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's Amelie was born in 2015. So that's 2015. So obviously you've grown a lot over the last 10 years. We're just going to touch before we go on to, because there's a lot in there. I mean, we're going to talk a lot of today as we go into the next bit about juggling children, because Katie's had 3 children in quick succession whilst building this business over the last 10 years. But let's look at first, what have you achieved in those 10 years? Because it's quite significant.
Those 10 years. So I opened my first jigsaw school in 2015.
Yeah.
And then quite quickly, so in 2017, I opened my second branch. At a request of a parent that just said, oh, can you do classes here? And I was like, absolutely, here we go. And then in 2019, I then bought an existing school from head office. So I took on my third branch, had 3 children, and then I bought started my 4th school in January 2025.
That was it. So you had a bit of a breather.
Yes. Got married, had children.
Within that time.
Yeah.
So it's funny, isn't it, how like you feel like and I feel very much like this with business and merging personal life as well together. It's like you can feel like for so long you're building up to something. Yeah. And then when the ball gets rolling, it all comes together. So it's like business comes, meeting Scott, babies and so forth. So did you meet Scott through performing arts? When did you meet him? Like, what's the convo there?
Yeah, no. So I set up my school in 2015. I met him. That was in the September. I met him in the April 2016.
Okay.
So we just met we met on a dating app.
Excellent.
And it was one of those apps, I think, where you get like 1 match a day. And he genuinely was my only match, like my first match. He genuinely was. I feel like no one believes me when I say that, but he genuinely was, because I'd given up on all the apps. I'd been on quite a few, been on lots of dates during that time, given up on them. And then I remember my housemate at the time said, "Oh, just try this one." I was like, "Go on then." And it was like an app, I think, where you match, where you sort of cross paths. Yes. And he used to play American football in London, so I think he used to sort of pass where I lived at the time, but in North London, Southgate at that time, and then I used to teach in Ware in Hertfordshire, which is where he lived. Excellent. So it's funny, isn't it? But yeah, he has no performing arts background.
It's so funny, because when I met Andre, I was exactly the same. I had come out of a really bad relationship, and then I was like, right, I'm just gonna I need to go on these dating apps, clearly. And I had good fun on there. Met some very interesting characters. But I got to the point where it's like, I'm bored. I always remember hearing on another podcast I listened to, actually, you almost have to treat dating like getting a job. Like CVs. You got to get out there. You got to get out there. Keep going. And I just got to a point where I found it really boring. And I was just like, I'm done with this. And then when I met Andre, I was so not in the zone of, I'd just been to Vegas, I remember, for a weekend. I was jet lagged. I didn't even want to be out. I wasn't drinking at all. I was like, I didn't even want to be out. And I met him, and that's how I met him. So funny, isn't it?
It is funny.
And then it all kind of clicks into place.
Because I cancelled our date as well, because I'd been on lots of dates, and I was like, I don't do this anymore. And then I actually cancelled it. And then that day I went on a run with my friend, and I remember asking him, saying, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And he was like, "Oh, me and my partner are going to go and watch something or do something together." And I remember thinking, oh, if I don't go on this date, like, I'm never going to meet anyone. I won't be able to go and watch anything with anyone. So then I was like, oh, you're still available? Okay, well, I'll come to the pub. And that's when I met him.
Oh,
thank God I did.
Oh, but do you know what? I find it's like sliding doors, isn't it? It's mad. Like, you think, if I hadn't walked into the pub and met Andre, where would you be today? I just find it fascinating. Yeah. It just blows my mind.
I know.
It blows my mind.
It's crazy.
So talking about, so obviously meeting Scott, and then had 3, so just let's talk a bit about mum life as we then go on to like the challenges with business. To tell our audience a little bit of the ages of your children.
Okay, yeah, so I've got
Luther. Can I remember?
Yeah, can I remember this one? Don't ask me date of births. Luther, so I had Luther in 2020, so he's 5. Yeah. I've got Daphne, who is 4 next month. Yeah. Very excited about that. And then I've got baby Lyra, who is 15 months.
Amazing. I mean, that in itself is a massive feat. I said 3. I've got 4 years between mine. Like, 3 under 4. Did you have 3 under 4 at one point? Or 3 under...
when I had Lyra, I think it was 3 under 4. Yeah, it was, because she was born on the 2nd of September.
3 under 4.
And then Luther just turned 4 a few weeks later. So 3 under 4. Yeah.
Incredible. So, use Katie's inspiration when you're listening to this of, don't think it's, I really truly believe you can do everything. Sometimes it's not always at the speed you want, or it's not always at everything all at the same time. But don't think, oh, because I'm having children, I can't launch this. I can't do this. You can just start small. You can build slowly, but just make a start. So what would be your biggest tips on building a business around children? Because you've also grown a lot, your business. It's not like you've just opened it and say, I'll just have one venue for the next 10 years. What would you say is there's no such word as balance, so I won't use the word balance. Nope. I think sometimes it's just, and it's also, I think, a lot of the time being okay with yourself on going, do you know, I might be an amazing wife this week, or I'm going to be an amazing boss this week, or I'm going to be an amazing mum this week, but you're never going to tick every box and be like, I've done all 3 things amazing. So it's being okay to be like, it's okay, I'm messed up on this week, but that's okay, I'm going to improve next week. So what would you say was your best tips to juggling 3 young children whilst growing your business?
Yeah, because I was quite lucky. I'd started my businesses before having the kids. They were all existing. It's only when I launched my last one that I'd had all 3 children. Yeah. So, but I would say that I think for me, because I absolutely love what I do, I don't see it as like a massive chore. I don't resent having to do it. So I think if you truly love it and you feel passionate about it, you want to make that juggle work, and you find the time, and you find what's really important, and you can't do everything. You can't be at every baby sensory class, every swimming class. I mean, Lyra only does 1 class a week. You can't do all that. Yeah, there is no, like maternity leave. Yeah. But I don't want that. I didn't want that. I didn't want to stop. So for my personality, I didn't want that. No, I wouldn't have stopped for 9 months.
You'd be bored.
Yeah.
What would we have done?
Yeah. So for me, it really worked. And I think keeping the vision that I want, which is to be able to create a life for me and my kids that works around us as a family. I want to be able to not always drop my kids off at school, pick them up from nursery, be at the nativity, do all those things. So I think when you've got a really clear passion and a really clear vision about what you want, then I think it is quite straightforward to block out any noise and know what is important. And there are going to be some nights where you're up really, really late and some early mornings and, a bit of burnout along the way. But I think if you truly love it and you want to make it happen, then you find a way. And I don't have family close by to help, but we've got a lovely childminder.
Where do Scott's parents live?
They're more sort of like Cambridgeshire.
Okay,
so
so
they're not that far, but they're not able to sort of help us with the children. So luckily I met Tanya, our wonderful childminder.
Childminders are phenomenal.
Who is incredible. Like today she had the kids early for me so I could be here today. And finding a really good nursery as well for the kids, so when from a young age I felt really comfortable putting them into that, and then using my time really wisely. At times I won't always stick to things like going to the gym or seeing my friends or going out, but I do stick to being on my business and being on it at all times.
Yeah,
like that consistency. I think I've never dropped the ball. I've always been 100% consistent with that. Not in all aspects of life, you can't do it all. But I love that, and it's so important to me. So
and I think it's really important sharing that, because it's my mum sometimes said to me, I've gotten much better at this, but she says my sister's insanely organised. She's a teacher, she's deputy in a school, and she's very good at organising personal stuff. My mum would often say to me, you're so organised in business, but in personal, not as much. I think I've got better as I've with the kids.
I'm the same.
Maybe it's, and I say again, it's how you departmentalise your brain of like, but I'm focused on this key thing at the minute. That isn't urgent. It always gets done, but it's not a focus at this particular time.
Yeah, so I'm the same. Like the business stuff comes first, but I haven't organised necessarily everything for Christmas next week, which a lot of my friends are like completely on. But I'll always have the business in order, because I understand the importance of that and the knock-on effect of our life as a family if I don't.
For sure. So. And do you know what? One of my biggest things I always and obviously I've said this to you, I've said this to many of our gold medal community, of always look back at, even if it's you're just doing small things every day or it's a big thing you're doing each day, but always look back at how far you've come and appreciate, even when your business isn't maybe had the best trial numbers or you've had the best cash flow month, or some of your team have messed you around, whatever the angle is. But it's from a mummy point of view. I always say to Andrea, I was like, do you know what? This business has brought me to my knees at times. I have had many tears over my gyms and staff and goodness knows what, but I thank my lucky stars for the freedom it gives us as a family, and the months without paying myself over the years and all of that. It's always, so, if you are when you're tuning into this today, if you are in the trenches, if you are thinking, I'm brand spanking new to business, how am I going to do that? Just don't try and think in 20 years time this is going to be it, but just keep in mind the day-to-day struggles you're going to face now, you won't worry about in 10 years time. So don't quit on a bad day is what I mean.
No.
And just know you're going to have highs and lows. It's all part of your entrepreneurial journey. It's like a roller coaster.
It's just doing a little bit every day. And I probably haven't ever I don't overthink it, because I have had the children so quickly. Life is at such a fast pace. So I just have to sort of, keep up with it. And
That's probably actually done you a favour, to be honest. I think sometimes when you can overthink it, you haven't got time to overthink.
No, I don't have.
You haven't got time to waste time. You haven't got time for that. So we crack on, and they always say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
So there we go. And we can multitask. You do changing the nappies, you're listening to podcasts, you're learning, and nap time, quick on the laptop
or in the car.
And I think I love that kind of adrenaline rush. I imagine. Put the baby down, quick. How much work can I cram in? Go. Because I do love it. It doesn't feel like a.
Because we always joke about the amount of washing that 3 children come with, and sometimes Katie will see on my podcast, on my stories, and I've seen the same with Katie. It's just like, well, while I'm doing the washing, I'm putting it away, whatever I do, I have to listen to podcasts. I have to feel like I'm educating myself while I'm doing this mundane task that takes hours of my life.
I do. Carry my phone upstairs as I go with me. Listen
it's
to
always in my
podcasts.
pocket. I'm just like, what are you listening around the house? And I'm like, just listen to my podcasts.
Got a massive pile at the moment, actually.
Ongoing. Do you know what I've just, bit off topic, but obviously from running gyms, our foam pit. has like little socks. So you know the big foam when you go to like the soft plays and stuff. The foam is in like a red sock. Like it's a long tube. Yeah. Because the red sock, otherwise it gets all mouldy and the kids pick it, like the foam. Anyway, they've all got red socks and they need a wash. Right, they stink. So for a good couple of years, kids have been jumping in these foam pits. And I think I literally, over this Christmas, I did a big wash load of them last night. They gave me a massive box. And each team member's taken a big box home. So I did it literally looked like Santa's stockings. Because they were all hanging out and I was like, this is the life of the CEO. I'm taking my fair share of those sock foam to wash, add to my washing.
Love it.
Perfect. So life, obviously, starting a business with Jigsaw and having children, you obviously would manage your business differently to then when you then have children within it. So what were the main challenges in the early days of Jigsaw as opposed to the main challenges now as you've scaled to 4 venues?
Yeah. I think in the early days of having my schools, gosh, I had so much time. I remember, being able to get all my admin done and just at a really lovely pace. Then I go to the gym, I go to the theatre in the evenings, we go away all the time.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
At the time,
it
did, looking back, that, incredible, but I suppose you don't know it at the time, do you, until life changes. So I had all that time, but I think at the time I sweated the small stuff quite a lot, always sweating the small stuff. And I think my challenges were probably managing the team, because I was quite young as well, in my 20s. A lot of my teachers, some of them were older than me. A lot of the parents, I thought, wow, all these parents with kids, that's so intimidating. So I think not having that confidence in myself. I always believed in what we were doing, and we were amazing at what we were doing. I believed in that, but I think feeling that kind of, do I really know what I'm doing? Do people, having that confidence and imposter syndrome maybe as well, as it grew, because it grew really quickly. So I went from having like nothing to having a really full bursting scene, school with waiting lists, and then opening another one. And so life changed quite quickly during that time as well. And I think I always felt like this could be taken away from me at any moment. And what on earth will I do? What if everyone doesn't renew at the end of term and I go back to having 30 kids that I opened with? So but I definitely sweat the small stuff. I didn't have the best skills for managing people. Quite a lot I get let down by teachers in a way that I think just wouldn't happen now, because I'm more confident. I know what I want. I know how to hire. I know how to manage people and those expectations, and to be more patient with people as well.
Definitely.
And invest in them rather than just expecting them to come invested, knowing what they're doing. So those are my challenges then.
But that's also growing up in the business as well. It's like you're constantly, and I would say, because sometimes some mistakes and some of the things you look back and think, I should have managed it that way. That was the wrong decision. I said the wrong thing. But I always think you said the right thing for the experience and the knowledge you had at the time.
I was doing my best.
Exactly. I think to some of the decisions I made in the early days, what was I thinking? And I think now I'm like, I wouldn't touch that with a barge pole. Interview I remember having someone come in, couldn't speak a word of English. Couldn't speak a word of English, but they were an amazing gymnastic coach. I thought, and you know what? Yes, it worked, but I thought there's no way this person's going to go any further with this. They can just coach, but now I wouldn't entertain that interview. So isn't it interesting?
Same, I suppose. I'd have people that were in the West End come in and be like, they teach for me, then they go and do their West End show in the evening, and I used to think that's so impressive because you're being taught by a West End star. But guess what? The kids don't care. If the West End star isn't fun and down to earth and having banter,
and they could go like that.
And they do. They go like that, first of all, but also it doesn't mean that they're right for the kids. And actually the kids and the parents, they don't care about that. They want this fun environment.
100% right.
So I recruit so differently now.
Yeah. This particular coach has said they were like a European champion. They were fantastic. But almost like I said, our gyms are not that level. They don't care about that. So similar.
Same with Jigsaw as well.
They're lower level. They don't need to know. They just want someone fun.
Yeah, fun, make
and
friends,
bubbly.
Confidence. It's not about being perfect and getting it all, West End standard. Most of them won't go on to the West End. So I mean, it's like, as you said, probably like a 0.0%. But the ones that do, it is incredible to support that journey as well.
Oh my goodness,
we do have lots of kids.
And like I said, it's really nice with Jigsaw that you're not just focusing on the high end, because the high end, same within gymnastics, the high end isn't, if I'm honest, what makes money. And it's not where most children are going to go.
No.
But with performing arts, all what you're teaching is massively benefiting, whether they want to be on the stage or if they want to be a singer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what journey they can. That's confidence in life.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
confidence in everything they go to. So
yeah.
So challenges are obviously different as you've grown the business. So what would you say are the biggest challenges you've had? Probably I'd say in the last year or 2 years.
Yeah, I do think actually,
around having another newborn.
Yeah, I'd say the last year probably has been the most challenging because I started the year in 2025 with a newborn baby. You know, she's like 4 months old.
When we first met, like
I would have just
virtually
had
when we first you just
had Lyra. And I remember as well gearing up to having Lyra, thinking, wow, I've handed over everything brilliantly. I've got my managers in place, because even that was quite new for me. I sort of managed my schools up until having the kids, and then sort of handed it over to managers so I didn't have to be there every single weekend. But that takes such a long time to like build that trust, train up that team, you know. And I'd done all that, and I thought, this is great. The third baby, I will be going to all these sensory classes. I will be chilling out and just, you know, and enjoying it this time round. Not that I didn't enjoy it previously, but it was a whirlwind. And then I had Lyra, and then I just because then I made the decision to open Jigsaw Harpenden in the January and an extra venue within one of my territories. It became probably the most full-on year for me. And challenging because I suppose at that point, I don't think I even knew it, but I was sort of scaling. I didn't have any admin team before that either. So whereas now I've got, you know, people doing like admin, sales, social media, marketing. Up until then, it was all me.
And that brings me round to, obviously, you've been with us nearly a year in March or April, wasn't it? You've been with us a year.
I think I joined around June.
June,
yes.
that time.
Yeah.
So going back to that, because this all kind of comes into the same conversation.
Yeah.
What are the key things that have made what you've done in our mentorship at Gold Medal have made the biggest difference?
Yeah, so a lot
far?
of it definitely is mindset and also really understanding my role in the business and how I have to be responsible for steering that ship at all times. But also I think, learning that I don't have to do it. Not only that I don't have to do it alone, but actually it's so beneficial to get things off your plate and delegate them out to people, have systems in place. I didn't have systems. The systems were all in my head on my laptop scattered around somewhere.
And we have that. Some people say to us, but I know what to do. I'm like, but it's in your head.
Yes, all in my head.
Yeah.
And
which your head's a wonderful place, but that can't scale.
But my head from that sort of January, as I was going to launch Harpenden, but keeping my other schools full with a newborn baby and 2 little ones, was about to explode. You know? It was getting getting so run down. So that's when I knew that I needed some support. So I guess that was probably the biggest thing, actually. Bringing on, not so much about the schools at the weekend. I'd already got managers in place to run those.
Day-to-day operations.
I think I completely underestimated by having this extra school and another venue, just how much extra admin there is, how much more marketing there is to do and to arrange. So that's when I was like, right, I need backup. And then I suppose joining the mentorship, I then could create clear systems. So instead of just having somebody doing everything for me, you know, really being clear about, right, this person's doing the marketing, I can have this person doing sales, and then looking at exactly what those roles need to be. And then, just being able to train up my team as well, like understand the importance of that and how to guide them. I think I've learned as well through the mentorship.
Incredible. And it said it's like what gets you to one venue doesn't get you to 5, or what gets you to 5 doesn't get you to 10. Sometimes you think, and I hear this so often, well, I'll just roll out the same thing. It doesn't. And I find that it worked up to 2 or 3, and then I found a business that was breaking at the seams.
So up to 3, it was never going to work.
Past 3. 100%. No, it doesn't.
I didn't know that until.
Yeah, I mean, they say that in revenue as well. They say what gets you to 500,000 won't get you to 1 million. What gets you to 1 million won't get you to 10. They're very different businesses in the way that where they work. Yeah. So what would you say if you start? I love this question. What would you say is that if you started your business again, 3 things you'd do differently?
If I started from the very beginning again.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
So let's say Jigsaw. Let's say, right, I'm going to start completely again tomorrow. What would you do differently with all your knowledge that you've got so far?
Okay. I would definitely invest in coaching so much earlier on. I think in the beginning you think, oh God, I can't really afford to do this on top of launching a new business.
You can't afford to do lots of things in the early days.
But actually, yes, of course, if I'd done that from the start, would I have got to where I am quicker without as many meltdowns? Possibly. So that is definitely one thing that I would do. I'd spend more on marketing as well. I think it was a very different time, I think, in 2015. But I don't think I was necessarily brave enough to really, really go for it in the way that I am now. I think that's easier to say, though, isn't it, with hindsight? But I think I would have, gone for that.
Always.
Spent more
Always.
in the very beginning just to go, boom, let's go. And that's what I did with Harpenden. And I think that's why it's grown the quickest out of all my schools. And then, the third thing I would do would be to bring on that support from the very beginning, to have somebody, to not, because I'm a team player. I like working with people. I like bouncing off people. I like feeling like I'm part of something. And at times it's felt very lonely. So I think from the very beginning, having somebody that's there kind of invested in the business that you're working with, and either training up and, rewarding for having that sort of teammate that I do have now in my business with Kim.
Yeah.
Having that from the get-go, I think would have given me a bit more confidence.
Yeah. So important. And said it's hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it's the beauty of your business is you can almost start again each time.
Yeah.
Because you're opening a new venue and this is what I'm going to do different.
And that's what I did.
Which is fantastic. So obviously you've achieved so much in 10 years.
Thank you.
No more children. Was Freeze enough?
No more children.
Freeze a great number.
Scott was done at 2.
Yeah.
He was done at 2. I probably would have another one,
Yeah.
But I think I'll always be broody. I love babies.
You love babies.
I love a baby.
Yeah. I love a baby.
And I always will. So I think, it has to stop now. It's right for our family to stop now.
No, it has to stop now.
Because, there's only so much that can go around for these 3 kids. Do you know what I mean? And I can tell that they are, even as they're getting older, I think it's
harder,
it gets
the balance.
Some of it gets a bit easier. I'm not, running after them at all times now, but I think they want more from me,
it's
emotionally.
Yeah. They say as they get older, it goes more from physically.
Yeah.
Like lifting them up out the seat, feeding them, to then it's emotionally. And I've definitely seen that with Amelie being 10.
Right.
She needs me less and less physically, but emotionally she needs me more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they drain on you in a different way. Right. It is emotionally rather than physically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Shift,
So, and I was like, I could have more. God willing, I could, but I can't look after more than 3. And like if I had a full-time housekeeper, chef, I could easily do that. Not a problem. But 3 for definitely is a great number. No more.
Yeah. It's hilarious though, because Scott's the one that does all the, like, in the morning, he does that race where he drops 1 at nursery, then goes to the school, then goes to the childminder.
Oh my God, he's in a race.
He's away in Malta at the moment, so I did it the other day, and I was like absolutely sweating, just getting there, Luther, like the last one in, shoving him in there, running up the hill. So it's strange that I do want more kids because I wouldn't be able to cope with it. But he's the one that does it all. And he's like, we're done.
I'm so impressed. Did you know about this interview today that we were doing when he was away? Was that already booked in?
No, I'd booked this. I think
because I was impressed when I saw that on your socials that Scott's away. I was like, impressive that you're coming to see me today.
It was the other way around, but I was like, we'll make it work.
You'll make it work. So,
yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So what an honour it's been today to chat with you, my darling. I've loved every minute, and I said one of my favourite things. It's so nice because there's so many things after working with you for so long. There's so many things there that I didn't know all about your journey. And that's one of my favourite things when doing the podcast, because you hear it's so important to hear the before, the middle, the after, and probably, like I say, my last question is, what do you see the next 5-10 years very much look like?
Well, I have promised Scott that we're going into
and
next
you promised
year.
me there's no more venues. We're refining and we're scaling on the back end.
We are, yes. So no more babies and no more venues.
Yeah.
But I have got a bit of an idea, but it would be for September, which is nearly the following year. So
we can do that.
Anyway,
that's fine.
Yeah, it is about the refining stuff. It's about refining even clearer systems, and about filling, I opened my new venue last January, filling that one up, my other venue in my Watford territory, filling that, just getting everything nice and full, focusing on that. And so I am continuing to grow, but not doing anything too shiny and new. Yeah. But then I can see myself expanding within my territories further in the next few years. Yeah. I'm not very good at sitting still on something.
It's very hard as an entrepreneur.
I need to always see another challenge and to sort of see like the next thing coming. So I can see myself opening more venues within my territories. And especially because I live in Harpenden, I now have my school in Harpenden. I love being part of that community. I just want that one, especially to sort of grow. Because that fills me with excitement for myself, my team, my kids.
Amazing.
And the community.
Well, watch this space. We might be in 10 years' time like 50 venues.
Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Cool. Well, what a pleasure. I loved every minute of that. And thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.